Heading into the 2023-2024 season, the Timberwolves were noticeably absent from the offseason buzz. Amidst the Celtics and Bucks making waves with their offseason trades and the towering championship expectations resting on the shoulders of the Denver Nuggets, the T-Wolves were virtually overlooked. Fast forward to the twilight of 2023, and the narrative has undergone a seismic shift. The Timberwolves stand tall at 20 wins and 5 losses, firmly securing the coveted number 1 seed in the Western Conference. This meteoric rise seems unprecedented, eclipsing even the era of Kevin Garnett's dominance in the early 2000s. The question lingers: how has this team, previously relegated to obscurity beyond the borders of Minnesota, surged to become the premier force in the West? How are the Timberwolves the best team in the West? Last year, the Timberwolves finished the year at 42-40, taking the 8th seed in the West. You knew their season was really in the tank when Rudy Gobert tried to swing on his own teammate in Kyle Anderson. They quickly suffered a first-round playoff exit to the Nuggets through a 4-1 series. So with a lot of the same core as last year, let's start with coaching. How did Chris Finch essentially take a 500 basketball team and transform them into what they are now? Coach Finch is taking a refreshingly tailored approach, leveraging his roster's strengths rather than conforming to the prevalent NBA strategy of bombarding the court with a high volume of three-pointers. Considering the makeup of their squad, it's evident that the Timberwolves lack an abundance of sharp shooters. Surprisingly, they rank 24th in the league, attempting a mere 31.7 threes a game. This statistic defies the assumption that they'd aim for a higher placement, showcasing Coach Finch's emphasis on maximizing their strengths rather than coercing excessive three-point shots. With 2 exceptional big men in their lineup, Finch places paramount importance on rebounding and defense, areas where this team thrives. Their prowess on the boards is notable, averaging 45.5 rebounds per game, securing them the 8th spot in the NBA rankings. However, the most glaring testament to their defensive improvement is the remarkable 107 defensive rating, currently the best in the entire NBA. This showcases a stark contrast from the rating of 113.8 last year, indicating a remarkable transformation under Coach Finch. Now listen, it is great when you have not just 1, but 2 dominant big men on your team, with Karl Anthony Towns holding a 104.9 defensive rating and Rudy Gobert leading the league at an impressive 101.6. Undoubtedly, Towns' return to the lineup bolsters their defensive efforts, but it's evident that Coach Finch has instilled a profound defensive focus within the team's ethos, transforming them into an elite defensive unit. They're not letting opponents dictate the tempo, refusing to allow teams to sprint up and down the court against them. In tightly contested games, they've displayed exceptional resilience, winning 5 out of 6 games decided by a margin of 5 points or less, with that one loss occurring against Toronto, and that was in the season opener. When the game narrows down, the odds tilt heavily against their opponents, making it a daunting task for even the most elite NBA players to penetrate their defense. On November 1st, they showcased their defensive might by restricting the defending champs, the Denver Nuggets, to a mere 89 points. Despite Jokic managing a 25-10-3 stat line and Jamal Murray contributing 14-6-6, the Nuggets struggled to muster much more than that. This isn't an isolated incident, it's a trend against the entire NBA. When you look at how star players perform against this defensive powerhouse, it's evident that the opponents tend to underwhelm. The ability to stifle opposing stars stems from the collective defensive prowess embedded within their starting lineup. Each member excels in defensive execution and relishes the challenge of shutting down their adversaries. And leading the defensive charge is their 4th-year standout, Anthony Edwards. Gobert and Towns setting the defensive rating bar in the NBA is impressive, but sliding down the rankings to the number 7 spot unveils yet another Timberwolf. Anthony Edwards boasting a 106.9 rating. Ant-Man's lockdown performances on the perimeter throughout the season have transformed Minnesota's defensive landscape, significantly hampering opponents' opportunities for clean three-point shots. This defensive tenacity plays a pivotal role in keeping opposing teams from breaching the 107-point threshold. On the offensive front, Ant-Man's averaging 24.6 points per game an impressive 17th in the league. Moreover, having solid teammates who share the load on both ends of the court allows Edwards to flourish without the entire offensive burden resting solely upon his shoulders. Alongside Ant-Man is Jaden McDaniels. He adds an invaluable defensive prowess to Minnesota. Standing tall at 6'9", McDaniels creates an impossible barrier that obstructs opponents, making it a daunting task to bypass him or thread passes through his defensive presence. Even in situations where he fights over screens, faces being beaten off the dribble, or finds himself a step behind, his remarkable length remains a game changer, enabling him to disrupt shots and fiercely contest against shooters. While he might have areas on the offensive end that need development, his defensive contributions undeniably stand as a stalwart asset for the team. The Timberwolves' rise owes much to the resurgence of their cornerstone player, Karl-Anthony Towns. Last season, his presence was sorely missed, playing only 29 games after suffering a season-ending injury. Fast forward to now, and Towns has been an unwavering force in all of Minnesota's 25 games this season, averaging an impressive 22.2 points, 9.5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a 42.4 three-point shooting percentage, which is a career high. This remarkable accuracy places him among the NBA's top 30 in three-point shooting percentage. Undoubtedly, Towns' pivotal return and exceptional play have been instrumental in catapulting the Timberwolves to their current success. Minnesota's dominance on the boards owes a great deal to the formidable presence of Rudy Gobert. Now in his second season with the team, the French center has been a juggernaut, averaging an impressive 12.2 rebounds per game, securing the fourth best spot in the entire NBA, trailing only Sabonis, Jokic, and AD. Gobert's defensive prowess extends beyond rebounds, showcasing a remarkable 2.4 blocks per game, ranking him 5th in the league in this crucial defensive metric. His impact is definitely a testament to capitalizing on your strengths rather than trying to focus on improving your weaknesses. As a defensive linchpin for the Timberwolves, Gobert's role as an anchor is unmistakable, coupled with the reliable contribution of 12.6 points per game, further solidifying his pivotal role within the team. Mike Conley continues to offer a veteran presence and currently is just what the Timberwolves need as their floor general. Despite averaging just 8.3 shot attempts per game, Conley's impact extends far beyond scoring. He identifies the hot hand each night, shooting three-pointers himself only when presented with wide open opportunities. His impressive 44.6 three-point shooting percentage solidifies his rank at 13th overall in this category. Conley's true value lies in his selfless approach. He seamlessly integrates into the team, avoiding any disruption to the offense while actively addressing the team's needs on a nightly basis. Now, whenever a team is doing this well, the bench is almost always exceptional, and Minnesota is no exception to this rule. Some of their standouts include Kyle Anderson, who offers a veteran presence and craftiness that fits perfectly coming off the bench. Solid defense, drawing fouls, and hustling for loose balls are all something that every team needs, and Kyle Anderson provides all of that for the Timberwolves. Minnesota has a few more standout players on their bench, including Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Troy Brown Jr., and Shake Milton. But someone who really has impressed me this season is Naz Reid. Their backup big man has been playing well enough to start on a lot of teams in the NBA. He's averaging 13.5 points, 4.6 rebounds, and a 106.8 defensive rating this season. That's pretty damn good. Here's a look at some of what he's done in the month of December, with the focus on his 23 points against Charlotte and 27 points against Dallas. Collectively, the Timberwolves bench is the perfect complement to the red-hot starting five. So as 2023 comes to a close, the Timberwolves schedule is about to get pretty tough. All the praise I've been giving them is really going to be put to the test over the holidays, but I have faith that they will be just fine during this stretch and well into 2024. I'm fully expecting them to be a top 3 seed once the regular season comes to a close, and because of their really good mix of young and veteran talent, they will not be a first-round exit this season. I'm expecting them to go pretty deep in the 2024 playoffs. What do you think about this Timberwolves team? Let us know down in the comments below who or what has stood out to you about this Timberwolves team. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That way you can keep up with new videos every single week and our NBA and NFL podcast, After Further Review, which we live stream right here on YouTube every Wednesday night. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Happy holidays. Anything I'll be doing this well. We're getting through it. All right, Karl-Anthony Towns. There we go. The Timberwolves' rise owes much to the resurgence of their cornerstone player. Cornerstone. The Timberwolves' rise owes much to the resurgence. We'll get it. Minnesota has a few more standout players on their bench, including Nikhil Anderson. Minnesota has a few more standout players on their bench, including Alexander. Not. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Minnesota.